Hello everyone, welcome to today's tip and tone. So today is day 5, I can hardly believe it. So today is all about stretch, flexibility, and relaxation. So I'll be leading you through a 10-minute stretch and flexibility session that you can either do at the end of a workout or just as a standalone, just to stretch and relax, maybe at the end of the day or the beginning of the day, whenever works for you. And this leads me to my tip of the day, which is stress reduction. So let's face it, we are in a stressful world, a stressful life, whether it's work responsibilities, home, family, outside stressors in the environment. It's just, there's so much going on in our lives. So it's so important for our health and well-being to find a way to reduce some of the stress. Even if it's just a simple breathing routine, writing things down in a journal that you're grateful for. You can do that at the end of the day or maybe when you wake up. Just a couple of things just to kind of reset your mind. Maybe it's doing this stretch and flexibility session or a yoga class or a meditation. So just even sitting quietly just with yourself and just relaxing, and then maybe downloading some of the thoughts that you have to kind of get them on paper, so that you can really just reduce that stress. Maybe it's going for a walk. So these are just some ways, but you want to think about what reduces your stress, because increased cortisol just can wreak havoc on your body. Cortisol is important. It's what wakes us up in the morning. And we get, when our heart's racing or we'll get anxious about a speech, a work thing, it kind of is a natural thing that happens, but we don't want to be under stress all day long. So just think about things that really reduce your stress. Maybe even just meeting a friend for coffee or picking up the phone and calling someone. I had a ton of things to do today, and I spoke to my sister on the phone. Boy, was it wonderful. And I just said, you know what? I have stuff to do. It can wait. It just felt so good to have a great conversation and catch up. So it could be as simple as that. So that was my tip of the day. It's going to help you with so many other things. It's just going to help you function in life better. It's going to help that cortisol level, which can be very dangerous in the body. And it's just going to make you feel good, and it may even make you sleep better. So when we slow down, we tend to really look at things clearer, and even our nutrition, we can just kind of take a step back and say, okay, this is my rough plan for the week. It just allows us to think a little clearer, and it's important. It just usually feels really good to do something that relieves stress. So let's begin just with our feet apart. We're just going to start with a nice big deep breath up. That's the way I start all my classes, and we're just going to get this 10-minute stretch and flexibility routine. So just take some nice big breaths here. Inhaling, nice full breaths, and exhaling. You can breathe in and out through the nose or mouth, really whatever feels good here. And let's just do this one more time. Exhale. Let's just roll those shoulders back. So part of stretching and flexibility is also mobility, moving through the joints. So I'm going to be doing a little bit of mobility today as well. Abdominals are slightly engaged, and we're just slowly rolling those shoulders back. This feels great. And you can even drop your chin to your chest as you roll. This usually feels very good. You can do one at a time. Let's just take another deep breath up and exhale. Nice. Let's just do a little standing cat and cow. Again, mobility, rounding through the spine and then extending. So being really careful to just keep a little connection to your core, syncing the movement with your breath. Good, and one more. Good, and let's just drop your right ear to your right shoulder. Feel that nice stretch up the side of the neck. You can even take this arm behind. Feels good. And other side, you can hold these a little bit longer. If it bothers you to have that hand behind, and I just have it behind my back, just let your arm just kind of relax. Great way to relieve tension, even just sitting at a desk. Drop your chin to your chest. Just kind of let those shoulders go. And then look up, inhale, exhale. Lacing the fingertips behind, this is one of my favorite stretches to open up the chest. You're gonna press the back of the hand down and just gently bring the arms back. We don't need to go back very far. In fact, just keeping the arms close to the body is sometimes a just perfect stretch. Tucking that pelvis under, just allowing that breath to move through your chest. These muscles in the chest really tighten up, the pecs. During the day, everything we do is over a desk, a phone, a steering wheel, picking up children, groceries, things. So it's important to open that up. Take a nice big inhale, reach for your left wrist and just gently press to the side. And let's go back to the center, other side. You can do this multiple times. I'm just gonna try to move through as many stretches as I can and release it. Roll those shoulders back. Good. Let's open up our feet a little wider and just bring our hands down the legs, flattening the back, and then dropping the head, rolling up, really pressing into those feet, and I like to add a shoulder roll at the top. So again, this is a little bit of a more dynamic cat and cow that we did earlier. Just really gentle movements, opening up the chest, and then rolling up. Good. All right, and then just bring your hands to your hips and hinge forward. You're gonna feel a nice stretch in your hamstrings. If this feels good, stay here. If it feels like you need a little bit more, walk your hands down. You can either take your hands on the ankles, maybe a yoga block. Just fold forward, bend the knees, and roll it up. Just gonna do that a few times and then we'll hold. You can even take your feet out a little wider. So we're gonna come down halfway. Again, you can stay right here. You can also have your hands on a counter or a bench. Maybe come on down and just let everything go, keeping that connection to your core. Let's walk the hands over to the right and then open up and lift that right arm up. Still bringing the chest down towards that right thigh. You can have a slight bend in the knee. Again, you can have your hand on a bench or the foot of your bed, anything really. Just to keep that back comfortable, we're gonna bring it back to the other side. Folding over your leg, you can stay right here. And then if you're ready, just open up, letting that rotation happen from your center. Breathe into your hamstring, breathe into your center. Come on back down. And then take one hand on above each knee and roll it up. Good. And let's just do another body roll here. Bring it down and rolling up. Nice. Let's come on down to the mat and we're going to sit into child's pose. This is one of my favorite stretches, and you can have the knees apart and we're stretching out that low back. Your hands can go as far out as you're comfortable. So you can be right here. You can be up a little higher, lifting the hips up if you're not ready for that deep stretch. Bring your hands to your right, stretching out that left oblique. And over to the other side. This is a great stretch to stretch the back in the morning. And then coming back to the center and up on all fours. Again, we're gonna do that cat and cow again. Rounding and then arching. So you want your knees right under your hips and your hands right under your shoulders. If you don't like your hands on the floor, they can be up on a block, a book, a shoebox, yoga blocks. So articulating that spine, so you're arching, still have that connection to your core, and then rounding. Great for mobility through the back. And then come back to neutral. Good. We're gonna come to a hip flexor stretch. So you're gonna take your right foot forward and just make sure you have something under that left knee if you're on a hard surface, or just make sure that you're on the front of the knee and not the kneecap. You might want to stay right here, stretching that hip flexor. You can also come down and open. Just opening up the chest. And then let's take it a step further, bringing your hand down. You can curl that toe under and come into a runner stretch. This also stretches the calf. But again, if this is too much, you can just go right to that knee down. Come on down and we'll pull back through a hamstring stretch. So just walking those hands back and stretching that front hamstring. So again, you can have your hands up on blocks. If you want to take it a little further, you can come to pyramid pose. So both toes facing the same direction. There's a little bit of space between the legs and you're just bringing your chest down. So you want to stretch wherever you get the most out of it. Good. And then we're going to come back down into child's pose. Taking another stretch here for the back. And come back up and we'll go to the other side. So we're gonna take that left foot forward, stretching out that hip flexor. So you want this front heel down and that knee over the heel. Again, you wanna make sure you position that back knee so you're not putting any pressure on it. You can also extend here if that's right for you, or just hold it forward and then maybe bringing that hand down and opening up the chest. Feeling that nice stretch through the hip. Bringing it down. If you want to stretch that calf into a runner stretch, you're right here, but you don't want to strain anything. So if your hips are too high, just come back to that hip flexor. Breathe. And then you're going to come back down and stretch that front hamstring, bringing the chest down. Again, you can stay right up here. Wherever you feel that nice stretch, I like to flex my foot. Sometimes you may have to reposition that heel. But again, if you want to go to that pyramid pose, you're right here. Thinking about those inner thighs pulling into the center so that you're not pushing out to the outer edge of that foot. Breathe into your stretch. You can hold these a little bit longer, maybe 20 or 30 seconds is ideal. And then we're going to come back face front and fold over those legs one more time. See if you can go a little deeper here. And then we're just going to walk those hands out to the tips of your fingers. You'll feel a nice stretch through the low back here and really draw those shoulders down. Now place your left hand down and then start to open up from your center, and then you can even bring that arm up. But it's not about the arm, it's really about that rotation. And let's come back to center. You're going to feel a nice little stretch to that inner thigh. So bring your chest down and really play around with that stretch. See what feels good. And you want to breathe into your stretch. Let that breath flow. Go deeper when you can. Bring those hands back down. Walk the hands in. Take one hand above the right knee, one over the left. Bend the knees, roll it up. And let's just take another body roll here. All the way down, all the way up. Nice. We're going to come on down to the mat. Good. And we're going to take a seated twist. So we're just going to take one leg out and cross over and just hug that knee in. This is great for the outer thigh. Sitting up nice and tall. You can also take that hand behind, opening the chest, but you want to make sure your hand's not here and that you're not putting any pressure on it. Keep this leg nice and active as well, and just gently pull that knee in. Your gaze kind of just follows naturally. You don't want to strain the neck. Come back to center, maybe shake those knees out, and we'll go to the other side. Crossing over, gently exhaling, pulling that knee in. You can really give it a nice hug here. Feel that stretch in the outer thigh. Other hand comes back, close to that low back. Great stretch for the glutes. All right, let's take the legs out and we're gonna stretch the hamstrings again. This is also gonna stretch your low back. Let's start with the knees bent, inhaling and then folding over the legs. You're gonna feel a nice release in the low back. You can reach for your toes and then roll it up. Now you can repeat that stretch, or if you want to feel it more in hamstrings and low back, straighten the knees without locking them. Inhale, hinge at the hip, and fold over those legs. Reaching through the crown of the head. Just kind of work yourself. This is the same stretch we did standing when you're folding over your legs. So you can take a little bend in the knee here, and as you breathe into it, you can usually go deeper. So give yourself that exhale to expand on that stretch. And then walk it up. Good, let's do a butterfly stretch. So you're gonna take the soles of the feet together here. And you don't have to overdo this one. You may even just get a sufficient stretch here. My hips are super tight, and depending on what you were doing, you may have just come in from a walk or a run, your hips may be tight. So this may be a really sufficient stretch for you. And then if you want to, you can pull on those toes and just bring the chest down. You just don't want to do this. You really want to feel that stretch through the inner thigh, a little bit of the low back. So I'm not going down very low here, and it feels great. Come on up. You can take those legs out into a straddle position. If this isn't for you, sometimes if you sit up on a yoga block, a book, a couple of towels, it's a little bit more comfortable. We're gonna take our left hand down, our right arm up and over. Just another great way to stretch that side. We'll go to the other side. Again, this is a great way to reduce stress, work this into your week. And also flexibility is just one of the components of fitness. So yes, our cardio is important and our strength is important. Flexibility and mobility is very important too. Take those, or lace those fingertips behind you one more time. Open the chest. Lace the fingertips in front and just bring those knees in a little bit and round the back. So I'm C-shaping the spine. So I'm just trying to create that C shape, dropping the shoulders down away from the ears. You can do this at a desk. It's great to get that stretch during the day. And release. All right, let's come center again, legs crossed in front. Couple of deep breaths up, and we are good. Exhale, drop your right ear to your right shoulder. Inhale. Exhale. One more stretch I forgot. Let's go down on our side. This is a great stretch for the quads. You're just gonna come to your elbow and stretching out the front of the leg. We got it a little bit with that runner stretch, but sometimes it's really nice to feel that nice stretch. You can guide it with holding on to your shoelaces right here or the front of your foot. You can bring the hip back a little bit. You feel it a little bit more. Good, and let's come up. See if you can stay here in this 90-90 stretch. This is also great. Sorry, I just added that on. And you can even fold over that front leg. Great for the hips. And walk it up. And let's go to the other side. So you're just down on that elbow, taking that top leg and just gently pulling your ears off your shoulder. We don't want to be compressed. You want to stay nice and lifted. The knee and the hip are facing forward. The nice thing about this stretch is you guide the stretch. You can take it as much as you want. Maybe your heel touches the back of the glutes, but maybe it doesn't. So just work with it and then see if you can go to that 90-90. So 90 degrees at the knee. And then if you want to, bring it down. This side is a lot tighter for me, so I know I always have to stretch this side a little bit more. Usually that's the way it is. Through injury, just the way we carry ourselves, or just our general anatomy. Let's come center. Great job, everybody. Inhale, bring your hands to your heart. You might want to sit here just quietly with some music on for a little bit. That's a great way to reduce stress. I hope you enjoyed this. You can, again, use this any time of day. And flexibility is just going to keep your joints mobile, your muscles strong. It can reduce injury, because if you're doing a run and you don't do stretching, your muscles are going to tighten. You really want to lengthen them again so that you can carry out and be mobile the rest of the day without getting, that cramp or that tightness. So stretching, and besides that, it just feels great to take that time. So it's usually the component of fitness that is overlooked, or we're in just such a rush after a workout. We want to just finish, do our cardio, take a glass of water and be on our way, but just spend a few minutes stretching and your body will thank you for it. Have a wonderful day, and I will see you tomorrow for day 6 of Tip and Tone. Have a great day.